You've heard of the Oracle of Delphi, right? The all-knowing seer of the future who channeled the wisdom of the gods and advised Greek kings on their most momentous decisions? Yeah, she was on drugs. When the ancient Greeks had important decisions to make, they wanted advice from the gods, so they'd travel all the way to the Oracle of Delphi. It was quite a schlep. The oracle was located 100 miles away from Athens on a high mountain surrounded by treacherous cliffs. Getting there required either a long trek over mountaintops or a perilous sea voyage. Either way, the trip would take days or even weeks. So why'd they go to all that muss and fuss? After all, the ancient Greeks had developed all sorts of highly scientific methods to determine what the gods were thinking, such as drawing lots, rolling dice, studying the cracks in chicken bones, and this is my personal favorite, massaging the entrails of a dead animal, especially the liver, which was considered to be the ripest organ for purposes of prophetic prognostication. Yet they chose to visit the oracle for one simple and compelling reason. The oracle was never wrong. Palpating a sheep's liver was fine for the mundane decisions of everyday life, such as which crops to plant that year, but when it came to making crucial decisions that would potentially determine whether an empire would rise or fall, you couldn't half-ass it. You had to seek out the oracle. You see, the Oracle of Delphi was no ordinary priest. The oracle was the hand-picked messenger of Apollo, a human conduit to the all-seeing gods. Apollo's words flowed through the oracle, transforming her into a perfect vessel of wisdom, insight, and knowledge of future events. That's right, her. The oracle was a woman, which is shocking when you consider that ancient Greece was an immensely patriarchal society in which girls were not allowed to go to school and were typically married off by the time they reached age 14. Yet when the alpha males who ruled over ancient Greece needed advice on their most vital matters of state, they sought the counsel of a woman, and not always the same woman. The Oracle of Delphi was an institution that lasted over 1,000 years, from 1400 BCE to 400 BCE. So, obviously, no one woman was around the entire time. There was a high priestess known as the Pythia, and over the years, when one Pythia expired, the gods would divinely select another woman to become the new Pythia. But here's the twist. All these women were on drugs. It wasn't an individual choice. It was a geographical imperative. You need to understand a bit about the topography of Delphi. People seeking the oracle's wisdom would line up at dawn and ascend a steep, winding path known as the Sacred Way. From there, robed attendants would guide them one at a time into a sunken chamber hidden deep in the bowels of a remote cave where the Pythia would be waiting for them. According to ancient scholars who actually witnessed the Pythia deliver a prophecy, there was a three-legged stool located directly above a fissure in the floor of the cave, and weird vapors rose from the fissure. The Pythia would sit down on the three-legged stool, inhale the mysterious fumes rising from the ground, and enter into a dreamlike trance. Her body would begin to quiver and writhe, therefore confirming she'd entered into a state of divine possession. Her voice would change, she'd make a bunch of crazy noises, and then, finally, she'd deliver a cryptic prophecy that was often only a few words long.